Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Lydia Mugwena. Welcome to yet another session of Assessment 2.2. In this lesson, we will be discussing the benefits and drawbacks of using technology as an assessment tool in the classroom. First and foremost, an assessment is one of the most crucial components of instructions. It identifies and makes a ruling on the work of those who are being assessed, in accordance to their level of understanding regarding the work in question. An assessment is pivotal within education. Its practices of education are the driving force whereby knowledge is passed on, and it improves an individual's intellectual capabilities. The world today is becoming more and more technologically orientated, and the inclusion of digital gadgets at home and at work is becoming more and more common. Students are dependent on smartphones and electronic gadgets for activities such as day-to-day planning, communication, research, as well as keeping in touch with their latest social media status. However, the utilization of innovation and technology in the classroom is not just based around digital gadgets, no, but it relates to anything that encourages and facilitates an interaction between an instructor and students. For educators to keep up to date with this digital era, technology needs to be included in the learning process. Educators should collaborate in order to enhance learning by finding new and alternative ways of using technology to impart knowledge. Both educators and students need to be open to the attainment of new knowledge, skills, and ways in which to teach and learn. And this way, educators will constantly reinvent themselves and the role in which they play in the classroom. And students will learn the versatility of acquiring and implementing knowledge. Benefits and challenges of using technology as an assessment tool in the classroom. A new era of assessment is moving past using technology merely for aspects such as resource allocation and delivery. The 21st century education and teaching is of the view that a learner's success requires the students not to only be thoughtful consumers of digitalized content, but be effective, collaborative, and compelling makers of computerized and technological media, illustrating competencies and communicating thought. The first benefit is that students can create and display their work online. This means that students can create and post their completed work online using platforms such as Turnitin. Students can also create their own media, which can be accomplished by the utilization of smartphone or other audio-visual equipment. Students' video, photograph, and audio assignments, such as an interview, documentaries, and self-reflection pieces, can be created using a phone app or a phone's camera. The second benefit is that when students are assessed using a computer program, they can usually choose their level of understanding with which they are comfortable with. This boosts their level of confidence and allows them to work at a pace that they can handle. One dynamic and active learning system that technology can encourage and facilitate is giving students a test, not for credit, but for learning. Thirdly, students enjoy using digital gadgets for assessment as it presents them with friendly and controllable environments. For example, The utilization of e-assessment aspects such as games and activities are more effective as compared to paper-based assessment. This process, though time-consuming, saves tremendous amount of time later, as feedback is computer-generated and immediate. Having a computer program that does the marking instead of the facilitator frees up a lot of time for the facilitator to do research, prepare, and monitor students much more carefully. Another benefit is that technology improves communication in the classroom. A lot of universities are utilizing various technologies for communication to make a change in the manner in which their students interact and communicate. For example, students from different classes or departments in one institution can make use of video calling and text messaging services for sharing and exchanging information. This virtual communication can also be utilized to support group work for students. Lastly, technology and innovation creates and aids mobility. The utilization of the internet by students eliminates space and time boundaries. Students can do their schoolwork from anywhere at any time. Social technology improves social interactions as they are flexible learning tools that can be adopted in higher institutions, because in the learning process it will allow students and teachers to share their ideas and to publish them. The next part, we will be discussing the challenges of using technology as an assessment tool in the classroom. Although some people are motivated, technologists within education will invariably come across several challenges that may involve planning, human elements, resources, and ethical matters that can endanger the technology-based assessment tool for students' learning and outcomes. One of the most key challenges of using technology as an assessment tool is professional development. When universities utilize technology, instructors and facilitators are not necessarily equipped with the necessary knowledge and skills to effectively incorporate it into their learning strategies, as well as lecturing strategies. Furthermore, the resistance to alterations and changes hinders the development of assessment in higher education. Instructors, facilitators, and school administrators regularly see innovative and technological experiments as out of their scope in their job description. However, technology in the classroom can cause distraction. Students tend to learn less when they are in possession of their computers, smartphones, and tablets. For example, if a student brings a phone into the learning session and forgets to put it on silent, then receives a call from their friends, this will cause a distraction and will as well disturb the lecture. The findings about technological gadgets in classes are univocal, indicating that electronic gadgets can be distractive in and detrimental to the overall development of students. This new way of assessment only makes life easier for both lecturers and students. It also educates the students on how to engage with the ever-evolving world. Both parties stand to gain in and out of the classroom. The challenge of acquiring the right equipment and training can be costly and time-consuming for the institution. But it is necessary for the fast-paced 21st century world that we live in. Therefore, I believe that assessing should move with the time and benefits of technology in our education system and provide authentic learning experiences that educators need to use technology effectively in their practices. Furthermore, education stakeholders should commit themselves to working together to set technology to improve South African education. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to our second session of Assessment 2.2.